Well, my name's Toby Davis. I've worked with Team Hard since I won the scholarship that we're currently doing at Croft a few years ago, and Tony was very helpful since then and has helped me find sponsorship to develop my racing career, which I wouldn't have had without the scholarship. And the opportunity to win the scholarship and be a part of that was, just huge for me in my life and my racing life as well. Before that, it was just me and my dad doing karting. And our budget was very limited. It was sort of £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 a year. It's not, in racing terms, not that much really, and we're looking at sort of 10 times that. So you can imagine the sort of jump up that was required, and to springboard that was the scholarship. And since then, I've had a lot of training, a lot of help from the team to find that sponsorship and move forward. Right now, I'm helping the team instruct for this year's scholarship, which has been a great experience. There's a wide range of talent here, and there's a lot of people that are pretty tidy drivers and have got a decent chance. So it's nice to get involved with the team and be able to instruct and help out where I can and sort of return the favour really that they gave me a couple of years ago in 2016.
Who inspired you to take up motorsport in the first instance?
Okay, well, I mean, my father's always been mechanically minded. He's had his motorbikes, he's had his sort of old beat-up cars he used to work on the drive with. He's really my hero. He's very hard-working, and he sort of brought me in from the mechanical side. Always used to watch F1. He used to go and watch F1 as a child, and I can remember in the 90s watching Formula 1, liking Murray Walker, and watching the Super Touring BTCC cars in the 90s as well. You got used to the Jason Platos in the day, and Alan Menu and the Renault Lagunas they were my team back in the day. But that's really what got me into BTCC and touring cars in general, and going to and from racetracks and watching them as a fan. These are my idols, the Super Touring guys from the 90s, and they were always sort of what I wanted to aspire to. So it's a bit of both really, a bit of sort of family genetics, a bit of family sort of introduction, as well as the TV side of it and going as a fan. And I'm still, even with the team now, I still turn up sort of here and see Tony and I think, oh, he's a BTCC driver. But then I have to pinch myself and remind myself that actually I'm able to be a racing driver myself, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
Can you think back to the first time on track you had in a race car, where it was, what the circumstances were and what the feelings were around it?
So, I mean, I started karting when I was about 12 or 13. This is something my dad and I decided to do. We'd just gone and done a couple of arrive and drive kart events, kart championships, and we'd sort of arrived and done quite well. So as a result, we sort of decided to have a go, buy a racing kart, see where we got on with that, and it was great for him because he could do the mechanical stuff, be the mechanic, and I was the driver. We did it on a bit of a shoestring, and we were very competitive. So from there, we ended up doing gearbox karts from there. And the first time on a long circuit in a gearbox kart at Alton Park in 2009 was a mind-blowing experience, because that was in a kart at Alton Park, 250cc gearbox kart, and the thing was just so rapid. It's unbelievable. That is 20 seconds quicker than these VW cars today. Just so quick. It was mind-blowing, and I remember going through Cascades the first time, and it was almost flat out in a kart, and it's just right on the limit of grip. It's brilliant, exciting fun. So first time in a racing car was actually on scholarship. That was the first time I ever drove a car, and obviously did a decent enough job to be able to eventually win the scholarship and now be a racing driver.
So you win the scholarship, you become a racing driver. First meeting, you have to go out there, practice, qualifying, and then onto the grid. Just talk me through that experience.
Well, it was at Rockingham in 2016, and in qualifying the car wouldn't start. There was a wiring problem, so I was starting at the back of the grid. I think it was about 20th, something like that, and had a very good start, because I'd asked Tony the night before, what's the process, what's the start process, tell me scientifically. And he told me scientifically. I followed that, had an amazing start, and I was up to 7th by turn 2. So you can imagine the sort of getaway I got. And as well, there was a couple of incidents, and I managed to pick my way through. Ended up finishing that race 5th, so which was over the moon with. And then in race 2, fought my way to the front on the first couple of corners, and yeah, I ended up winning the race with fastest lap as well. So I couldn't have dreamt for a better start. And I mean, for me, it felt like I was able to show that they'd made a good choice by picking me as the scholarship winner. I've always felt confident that I've had a good talent level. I felt that my ability is good. That's why I entered the scholarship. Every racing driver thinks they're the best racing driver on the planet. I don't, but I do believe that I can be quite good, and to be able to show that sort of straight off the bat was fantastic. And a lot of that was because of the coaching I'd had. Tony had gone through all of the sort of mechanics of the car with me. I like to do things as a process. So it was all, you know, this is 3rd gear, then it's 4th at this point, and so on. And I tried to listen as carefully as I could, follow that instruction, copy and paste it onto what I was doing in the car, and it seemed to work for me. And the car they built was fantastic as well. So it really all came together, and it was fantastic.
And how did the rest of the season go?
Not so well. We had ups and downs. We had podiums, a couple of pole positions, and also some DNFs. Realistically, I was still very much a novice in a car, and it was a little bit trying because I was sharing the car with someone else in another championship. So he would do it the weekend before or whatever, and then I'd jump in the car the week after. And the problem is that there were a couple of times that it came back a little bit bent, or been in the wall, been in the wars. The parts were being used up twice as fast, so we had a couple of mechanical issues, a couple of mechanical gremlins, which unfortunately set us back. But I couldn't complain. You know, I never mentioned it at all, really. It was just that's how it is. At the end of the day, the scholarship was a fully funded drive, and to be honest with you, I was over the moon to even getting in the car each time. So the results really, I mean, obviously you want to win, but I was never disappointed.
What are your plans for this season?
So last season I competed in the VW Cup again, managed to pick up some sponsorship, which was great, and hopefully they'll be on board again this season, but I've found extra sponsorship as well. So although last season we weren't able to quite finish the season, this season I'm very positive that we'll be able to do so. And with that in place, it means you can sort of look towards the results a little bit more. Last year I was firefighting with trying to stretch budget in certain areas and so on, and it just means you're not quite as competitive as you could be. So so this season it's a case of that's not quite so much of an issue. Obviously I'm not completely fully funded for this season, but I think I'll be able to find it. So if I can bring the right people on board and help them as well, get some value out of it, then we'll do the full season, and then we can look at the results. I'm confident the car is great, and this is year 3 for me now, so hopefully the experience will mean I can put a proper championship challenge together.